Good evening and welcome to our third Ashes Test review. It's been a little bit short notice, that's because of me, because I've had a bit of a hectic day. I was meant to schedule this earlier so that a few of you guys would actually know about it, but hey ho, I didn't. And yeah, we're here, we're live, and we're going to be for probably the next half an hour or so, although Toby did have some minor technical issues before we went live today. I don't know if you want to explain them to everybody or whether you're much too shy.
Well, I don't know myself, actually. I'm a bit worried about this. My computer's decided to restart randomly a few times in the last few weeks, but nothing really more to add, but it's a bit bizarre.
Yeah, so if we lose Toby today, you know why. We've got great Jamie in the chat. Great to have you along, and he said we've thrown it away again. Such high hopes. I mean, spoiler alert, unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of days, you'll know that. Oh well, the last 3 weeks we already knew England were going to get thrashed, so you know.
Yeah.
Hello to Atul and hello to Joe as well. Yeah, we've lost the Ashes, 3-0 down, unassailable lead for the Australians, but yeah, we're going to have a look, a bit of a more detailed look into the Ashes third test, and we'll see where it all went wrong in this test match. Hello to Dylan, who's claimed that we are the best at cricket, and yeah, I couldn't agree more. So we started again. We won the toss for the third test in a row, and we've batted first for the second time, I believe, for the second time out of the 3 matches. And after 4.4 overs, we lost our first wicket of Alistair Cook, and a lot of pressure on him now, you would have to say, after a very poor series. And looking at the stats, he had a double hundred against the West Indies, but apart from that, I think he's only had one other 50 this year, which is really bad. Will I be streaming tonight? Yes, I will, Joe. I'll be streaming at 8 o'clock, maybe just a little bit after, because I've got to take my mum to the doctor, so I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but I will be streaming tonight, don't worry. And I also think I'm going to be streaming Christmas Day, but we'll talk more about that later. Great Jamie said he was hoping Wokes and Anderson would do the Cardiff 2009 and go park the bus. I mean, you know, they would have had to go... How much of the day? They would have had to go quite a bit of the day to do that, wouldn't they? Was it over in 4 days or 5 days? I'm not sure.
The end of the last day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last day.
Okay, so they didn't have to hold
took
on
it to
that
the last day.
long,
Get in,
I guess. But evening at Christian Spink, and Kuka's gone past his best. Apparently.
The most recent comment.
I agree, Anderson's better with the bat than Cook. Yeah, well, I've always thought that, but you know. Anderson actually has the record for the most amount of test innings without a duck, I believe. Or he certainly did hold that. Right, well, we'll read Jamie's comment in a minute. But yeah, Cook, another low score for him, but Stoneman, another solid score, 56, that's not too bad. Vincent Root, 20s, you know, it happens. But Milan, star of the match for me, and, you know, I'm going to hold my hands up now and say I'm sorry to Milan, because before the start of the series, I slated him and I said he shouldn't have been in the squad, but he is our leading run scorer, which is quite surprising. Johnny Bairstow, 119 as well, so their partnership pretty much carrying our first innings over the 400 mark, but yet again you can see that collapse. I think it was 6 wickets for... No, sorry. Yeah, 6 wickets for... Yeah, so yeah, 35 runs for 6 wickets, which, you know, you're not going to win any match with that, but... We got 400, we were looking positive, but as I pointed out to you in your stream, Toby, the last 2 times we've scored 400 in the first innings, we've lost by an innings. So things didn't look good, did they? Anyway, we've got a load of chat activity here, including the very own TIJ. So, Great Jamie said he can't believe everyone under Milan and Bairstow just died in the first. 6 for 35 is disgraceful. We were just saying that. Ali is not as good as he was in the summer. Serious doubts on his... I mean, he's had a cut finger, to be fair. I don't think... yes, I agree. His performance hasn't been good, but I don't think he's the only problem in the side. Cook was bleep. Broad was bleep. Maud Ali was bleep. Full stop. I don't know what else to say.
Let's talk about England's first innings, shall we? Well,
yeah.
If you haven't heard my lovely voice yet. As Joe says, really, about our first innings, I think it was just Milan and Bairstow that have sort of carried us. But, well, we'll not talk about that until Australia's first innings. Hint, hint, Stuart Broad. But as you're saying, Cook, not very good throughout the series, and the real debate with Cook is there anyone any better to replace him? Somebody put in the comments that even Keaton Jennings is better than Cook. Now, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. I'm better than Keaton Jennings. But I don't think there's anybody at the moment. I mean, you could name your Hamid, you could name your Duckets. There's nobody who's had a opening place who's proved that they can do it. And with Stoneman still technically a new opener, you don't want two openers, but then you've got the trouble that if Cook's going to get single figures every innings, puts a lot of pressure on that number 3 then to score big. Obviously, then it's just going to fall to Root and then, etc., etc. But overall, a good innings. I can see where Jamie's coming from. A bit of a disappointment, 35 for 6. But as we were talking about in the last test review, the likes of Overton and Broad and Anderson are not really there to score runs, are they? They're there to bowl. So, I mean, you might say that they're all-rounders. Anderson's not an all-rounder, but there we go. But I can see where he's coming from, but what the most worrying thing is Cook's lack of form, and the fact that Root hasn't had a very good series. Because I think that really for us, the carriers in terms of batsmen is Cook, Root, Bairstow to a degree, and Ali, because they're obviously the consistent people on the side.
And Stokes. Oh.
Yeah. Obviously, he's not inside.
Yeah.
But to not see Cook perform is a bit concerning, and Root. So I don't think you can necessarily put all the blame on Cook, because Root hasn't had a good series either, so I don't know about that. But I think that our innings, I don't really think there's much to talk about. It was a decent start. It was a respectable start. I mean, 403 on Australian soil. That was good. But then that was absolutely battered by Australia. I'll let you continue.
Yeah. No, I think 403 was a very competitive score and should have been a competitive score. But yeah, as we went into the second innings... although before we do that, we do have a lot of chat to sort of respond to, so I think it might be a good point to do it. So, hello to Adam Palmer. Christian says, Milan was the only encouraging thing in the game. Agreed. Joe Ansell, who will be watching the Big Bash? I personally won't be, but I don't know about you, Toby. And then, we've got some love for Milan. Clear match fixing, apparently. Stoneman wasn't out in any shape or form. Milan was quality, I always thought, so ha. You know what, Jamie? I'm not sure if Milan had got a couple of ducks in this game, I think you would have been slating them, so, I never seen the Stoneman dismissal, so I can't comment, I'm afraid. Watching the highlight. Oh, so we have a highlights watcher right now. Just got some. Cubby Tiger, hello to you. England simply doesn't have the quality to face Australian 3-man pace attacking line. Apparently, Chris Rogers had the record for the least ducks in an innings until Trent Bridge. Who knew? I know Anderson had it a few years ago. But that just shows you how long it's been since I've properly watched cricket, really. Punk says, I could bowl better than Ali did with a broken hand or cut finger.
Debatable.
I mean, I don't think he got... Did he get many wickets this series? It certainly must be low. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll look on the internet.
Yeah, Josh Mann says Mo and Ali biggest disappointment in his opinion, and I guess he's one of the. I think Joe Root's probably my biggest disappointment. We've got some player ratings from Jamie. That's always a bit.
No offence, Joe, but we're not going to read them.
I am. Cook 0. I think they've been a bit more fair. So Cook 0, Stoneman 5, Vince 5, Root 1, Toby's gone, Milan 10, Bairstow 8, Ali 0, Wokes didn't do much 3, Overton got wickets, pretty impressed actually 5, Broad 0, Anderson 6, Cook, Root, disgrace apparently, as that power of 3 goes. What do you mean? Am I finished yet?
You finished the comment yet?
Yeah, I'm finished now.
Oh, for you, I can tell you. So.
Punk said Steve Smith has the second highest average in Test cricket in all time. I think that's the only sort of stat that you can compare when they've retired. I don't think, because as of a couple of years ago, Root had an average of 60 or something. So, and he definitely doesn't have that now. So I think those sort of stats, while it is very interesting, I think they shouldn't be looked at until after their career. Because then that's the only time you can compare greats, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Lots of team names. I don't know why. We could have won if Stokes had kept. And I disagree. I don't think Stokes is the difference.
He would have helped, but he certainly wouldn't have won the Ashes for us.
Stokes isn't the difference between an innings and 40 runs, 120 runs, and 10 wickets. 120 runs, maybe. I'll give you that one. But the other two, nah. What do you think of Overton's injury doubt? We'll talk about that later. Hello to Han Mr. Younger. Great Jamie said, to be honest, if we swung 1 centimetre, they would be bowled out for 40 Australia. If it swung. I don't think Australia are that bad at batting.
No.
Ali got 3 wickets. Is that all series or just in the match? I'm assuming all series. Oh, yeah. God. Imagine if Johnson and Harris were there. I know, exactly. Right. We're gonna stop looking at the chat for a minute. Right, let's get on with this Australia second innings. Couple of early-ish wickets, which wasn't too bad. Craig Overton yet again, striking and looking quite impressive.
55 for 2, so
chasing 400. You're in a bit of trouble in that situation. Yeah, if it was England 55 for 2, I think we'd have been probably all out for 150. So it just shows you how strong Australia are. Khawaja got 50. Steve Smith 239. Brilliant innings from him, but it was in 399. But I was looking at the 578, thinking it was in 578 balls. It wasn't. Strike rate of 59 is all right, to be honest with you, in Test cricket. Sean Marsh 28. Mitchell Marsh 181, which is a very decent total. I think he got out sort of second ball of this third day or whatever it was at the time. Payne was not out, but yet again, our inability to get rid of the tail as well, it hasn't cost us in this case, but it's annoyed us because Cummins has got 41 runs there that Australia needn't have. We wouldn't have lost by an innings if
definitely. I think I'd say it really surprised me. Pat Cummins. I think in both the last 2 Test matches, he's got respectable scores. And for someone who's batting at number 10, Stuart Broad's lost it. I think Stuart Broad's frightened of batting now ever since the incident, and so he's just going to be an easy target. But Pat Cummins at number 10 for them, 41 added to the score. And another good stat that obviously it doesn't take a mathematician to work out, but Smith and Marsh got more than we got collectively, just the 2 of them. So it kind of shows really that the Australia innings wasn't actually that fantastic because obviously the rest of them together only got sort of about 240.
But that's the difference. We had two centurions, which is the same as Australia, but the difference is other people were throwing in 50s and 49s and 41s and 28s and 22s.
Just highlights how bad that collapse was really at the end.
Yeah.
So, Stoneman got a 50. So
well, yeah. I mean, 6 for 35. That's not good enough. If you
No.
look at Australia, it's nowhere near like that. You know,
That only happens on your cricket captain when you go a bit aggressive. I mean, that's unheard of in proper cricket. But
exactly. But 662 for 9. They declare again. We just can't seem to bowl the Aussies out, and it's a real problem. If they didn't declare, they could have probably got 700 out of it because we can't bowl out the
easily,
tail.
yeah.
So, and England would have been even more embarrassed, although they might have held on for the draw in that case. But I don't know. So, basically, we were 259 behind.
We couldn't even get that.
And, even chasing that for the victory, I wouldn't fancy us. And to do that just to make Australia back again, we'd have needed 450 just to set a reasonable target.
Well, it was the last hour, wasn't it? The last few hours
yeah,
of the game.
well, yeah. To hold on, I agree. But my point is, to win the game, England would have had to score really heavily again in the match. 400, it's not to be sniffed at. It's a good innings, but to do twice in a match, very difficult. What's going on? Thoughts on Stark's delivery to ball, Vince? I don't know. I never seen it. I've just been keeping up with the TMS thing.
Nobody would have stopped that. I'm sure you were. Even Steve Smith wouldn't have stopped that. That was it was just fantastic. Any of you that have obviously seen it will appreciate that. And here's an anecdote for you all. My granddad's 80. He's been watching cricket for, let's think now, 40, 50 years. And he said, really, apart from the Shane Warne delivery, the famous one back in the day, it's the best delivery he's seen for a while. And I mean, I refer to him because we haven't watched it live. But my granddad has got BT Sports, so he's very lucky to watch it live. But we haven't, unfortunately, so... Yeah. But yeah, fantastic delivery. But I did see that. Great. Jamie, the worrying bit is that Cook and Root's getting net for ducks. Smith's getting centuries, double centuries. We made Mitchell Marsh look like Sachin Tendulkar.
I don't know about that. Anybody on the day can score a century. It doesn't mean they're Sachin Tendulkar.
Milan scored a century. Not that Milan... It might well be that that's a one-hit wonder. We simply don't know. So, I don't agree with that.
Bairstow scored a century as well.
Yeah.
So.
Just a good batting ground, really.
Australia are strong, but that is because their last 6 can score more than 35. Exactly, I think that's what the difference has been in this Ashes series. Australia seem to be able to pluck another 50, 60 runs out of their innings, and, it adds up, because we just seem to be sort of on a downward spiral in terms of how much our tail goes for, whereas Australia seem to be able to dig in. Cummins should be England's new opener. He'll probably do a better job. The question is, if Broad and Anderson were to be replaced, who would come in exactly? Wood and Crane. I mean, bring a spinner in to replace an opening bowler. I don't think that's a replacement.
The only person I would suggest, but he's not fit at the moment, is Toby Rowland-Jones.
Yeah, he did all right in the summer, but it's whether he could do it in Australia. Do you know what I mean?
They may as well call the youngsters up now because the other 2 are dead rubbers, aren't they? So I mean, not too many. Don't call up a whole squad, but maybe 2 or 3. Try and push them through because Anderson's going to be tired because you can clearly see that he's getting on a bit. So definitely replace him. Cook, I'd probably keep Cook in the side, unless he wants to, call it a day for this series. But I think the 3, obviously, you've got to look at replacing is Cook, Broad and Anderson without doubt. But you can't just throw youngsters in there who are going to take a bit like Crane, to be honest. If he goes in, takes a battering, doesn't get a wicket, and takes a battering from the Australian bowlers, then he's not going to get picked again. So it's really that risk from the selectors. Do we pick somebody young in the risk that they will get hammered, basically?
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk more about selections and stuff.
Wise, by the way.
You what?
That does not mean alcohol-wise with the hammered bit. Just in case anyone was unclear.
We'll talk about our thoughts on selections and players' futures towards the end. But we still have an innings to review, the England second innings. And, well, within, what was it, 11 deliveries, Stoneman was gone, and, and then not long after, Cook was gone as well. So Cook gone for 14 this time. Not exactly a duck, but not exactly brilliant either. Stoneman, I don't think you can fault him this series. I think he's been fine. Vince got a 50, which is interesting for Vince. He got that 83, and I tipped him to be a star of the series. Look how that turned out. Root got 14, so Cook and Root buddies there on 14. Milan another 50, 54 for him. Bairstow 14. How many 14s have we got? Moore and Ali 11. Wokes 22, Overton 12, Broad, Duck, and Anderson not out for 1. All out for 218 from 72.5 overs. I mean, that's not even a good run rate, is it?
No,
it's not even as if we can say, "Oh, we're going for it. We're getting runs. We're just losing silly wickets. We're just disappointing." And yeah, we got beat by an innings and 41 runs in the end to lose the Ashes with 2 games to spare. Thoughts?
It was inevitable, I think. As you say, I wouldn't back us to get that Met to win the game. Does it really come to a collapse in the... Well, I don't think it comes to a collapse in the... sort of downwards order, the bowling order, because at the end of the day, it was Cook and Root again. They only got 28 between them, and they are the bowlers the batsmen we massively rely on. I mean, without the big scores of Milan and Bairstow, we wouldn't have had a chance. I mean, if you think about it, we lost on about 200, so they'd have won, rather than that, they'd have won by an innings and 241 runs. So apart from that, it just shows how bad our other batsmen were. Credit, as you say, to Vince and Milan for their decent scores. But Cook and Root just not good enough. It just wasn't good enough this match. And I don't know, we're playing next year, but we need to sort it out. They need to get some good series.
Yeah, I think we're playing
Pakistan. I mean, that's not a easy team by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but yet again, we'll probably steamroll everybody at home and get thrashed away like we always do, because nobody can play a swing in England, and it just about means everybody can get away with getting bowled out for 200, and we can hope that we can bowl them out for 110 or something. But I'm just looking at the wicket takers in the first innings for England. Anderson got 4, Overton got 2, Wokes got 1, and Ali got 1 as well. Broad, the big disappointment with 0 for 142. So that brings us quite nicely onto the next topic of players' futures. What do you see in the future for the likes of Cook, maybe even Root, and Anderson and Broad particularly, maybe even Moore and Ali?
Well, let's address Root. I don't think there's a question about his future. I mean, MZK Punk has asked a question about captaincy, whether it's got to him. Well, no, it hasn't, because he was captain against South Africa and he got 190. So it's not as in, obviously he got that 254 against Pakistan. But if you look at his stats after that, I wish I could show you guys. If you go on the ESPN Cricket Info site and go on the infographic showing Root's batting stats in tests, it's not actually that bad. I mean, he got a 67 in this series as well. He got another 51. But I don't think... Has Cook got a 50 this series?
Cook?
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think the best he's got is about 46.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I think he's only had 150 in every innings this year, except the one where he got the 200. I think. Well, at least 250s, I don't know.
Yeah, he got the 241 against 243 against West Indies. And he got 130 last year. But as you say, this year, his highest score apart from that, as I can see, quickly looking, is an 88. 69. Yeah. But as you say, not too brilliant. So, Monty Panesar's better than Moeen Ali. Root, no question about it. Anderson, I think he can go for another year. Broad's rubbish, to be honest. It sounds stupid, but Root had a better bowling average than Broad. I can accept obviously that Root bowled a lot less. No, you're not bringing in that dirty man that's got 2 initials. No question about Anderson. Keep him in for a year. Broad, replace me Roland Jones. And Cook. Tricky one, as I said earlier. Who would you bring in, guys, as a replacement? Do not say Keaton Jennings, or else I'm just leaving. Who would you bring in as opener? Would you bring back someone who has been out of the squad for a while? Would you bring back Henamid? Would you bring in Duckett, someone like that?
I don't think so. After he poured a glass of wine over Anderson's head.
True.
Why on earth was he sent home for that? I don't get that. Anderson said it wasn't malicious. Anderson said he didn't care about it. Why on earth are they making a big deal of it?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
That's the England being a bit too soft there. But anyway, Hamid, would you bring anyone back? It's just tricky with the openers. Ali, I don't think there's a question about his future.
I think it's because the only reason that these players manage to stay in the squad week in, week out.
Alternatives.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I think Cook would have been dropped like before the Ashes series if there was a viable alternative. But because we've been too busy trying to get somebody to partner Root at Cook, it just hasn't worked. Tom Ward, hello. And Josh Mann says Alex Hales, but he's been tried at Test cricket before and just didn't work. He had a pretty decent run at it as well. I think he had at least 10 Test matches, which is quite a lot compared to what most people are getting nowadays. So
at least he's willing to give it a whack, though.
Yeah, but that's not what you need as an opener, you know, in Test cricket anyway.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to, you just promote someone else to opener, don't you? I think you couldn't Ali play as an opener. I think you probably disagree. But...
Yeah, you're a fan of Ali opening, but I'm not. Because you know, Ali hasn't been doing well in his attacking role, so you know, Ali is a terrible spinner. Cook will retire. The thing is about Alistair Cook, though, is that he seems to go on much longer than people think, because he should have resigned as captain at least 3 years ago, but you know, didn't. And it's just Alistair Cook is so stubborn and will not sort of leave unless he feels like he's doing it on a high. So I think he'll go on for the next 2 matches. I think he will retire if he goes and scores 2 tons in the last couple of matches. But I think if he continues his form, he's not going to, which is really weird to say. But I think he's too stubborn to go. And also, I think England kind of need him.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think really the third test, a little bit like the second, there's not really much to discuss, is there, to be quite honest, because it's the same old story, unfortunately, with England, and until our best players start performing, and really, is there a problem with the youth talent? You know, I think we discussed this last time. Since Root came through, has there been anyone come through who's really good? Mm-hmm. And that just shows Root's the captain now, and there's nobody else who's come through who's brilliant. Big question is whitewash or no whitewash. Whitewash. Cook's only 32. He's 33 on Christmas Day. I think that's brilliant. Christmas Day. But I just feel frustrated, to be honest. It's not great it being an England fan. It's not as bad as the football, but it feels like it sometimes.
Just wait till the summer. No. Oh, that's an idea for the summer. We'll do World Cup matches reviews.
Oh god.
What a great idea. I'm gonna have to go in a minute, so we'll have to wrap it up fairly sharpish. But is there anything that you want to end on?
No, not really. I think it's just obviously we've talked a lot about England need to improve. Australia aren't that good. It's just that Australia's bowling, as they say, a 10 mile an hour quicker than us. No,
I think we've got to take our hats off to to the Aussies for the first 3 Test matches. They've completely outplayed us, and they deserve to win. Like, you know, we are Englishmen. We're trying to analyse why we've lost, but ultimately Australia have been the better team. So big congratulations to them. They've regained the Ashes, as everybody pretty much expected them to. And after all the criticism about their squad at the start of it, you know, I think it's our squad that we need to be looking at. And yeah, I think it might do us good to have no pressure going into the next 2 matches, but with it being the Ashes and Australia obviously wanting a whitewash, then there's a bit of pressure, and there's pressure on individual players as well. It's not as if they can just whack it about and everybody's safe. So I don't know. We might see in England resurgence, but I don't think so. And I think another whitewash. So it'll be 3 whitewashes in 4 away Ashes series, which is not good. It's not good. But I haven't got much else to say. I don't know about you.
No, not really. Just thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, definitely. Big thank you. Thank you for the turnout. It was such short notice, but I think at one point we had about 17 or 18 people in here. So a big thank you to all you guys. We really do appreciate it. And all the people watching on retrospective viewing, because I noticed there was about 650 views on the first one and 470 odd on the second one. So big hello to all you guys. If you have got anything to say, leave it down in the comments, and we'll have a bit of a chat with you. And make sure you do leave a like if you are enjoying. We might be able to do a 4th test review, but it's obviously over quite a busy time, and I don't know whether I'll actually be up here, because it'll be New Year's Day, I guess, won't it?
Yeah. I think probably the most likely, folks, is for us to do a series review at the end.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I'm sure Joe will schedule it, 2 minutes before it starts, give you plenty of notice to turn up.
Make sure you click the notifications on me thing, so you're alerted every time that I go live. But as for me, I will be live at about 8 o'clock, maybe just a little bit after, and we'll play some Football Manager. Probably go for a bit longer tonight because the missus is out, so I don't have any responsibilities. So I can have a nice chill and play some Football Manager. So hopefully see you at 8 o'clock. You, Sir Toby, I'll hopefully see you because The Apprentice is over. And it's a Tuesday, so, there's no excuses.
Suppose.
But no, thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure you do leave a like. And all I've got to say is goodbye. Over to you, Toby.
Bye.
Well, on that note, see you later, guys.
See you later, folks.